Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This one is directed by Andy Serkis. I like the DVD case. I think it's better than this one. Thoughts on the movie goes, I thought this movie was awesome and probably the best Marvel film they've made in 2021. I'll get the Spider-Man 2022 and Eternals also in 2022. Since those movies will come on DVD in 2022, I would count those as 2022 films. I only do film reviews on movies I obtain on DVDs. I might give my out-of-theater thoughts on Spider-Man, but I haven't really decided on that. As far as this movie goes, here goes the story. We open up in the 90s. We see a 1990s Woody Harrelson, Cletus Cassidy, and his girlfriend Naomi Harris, who plays Shrek. So their girlfriend, their boyfriend, they like each other, and they're being split up. Shrek is going to Ravencroft Institute, while Cletus Cassidy will stay at the child home. St. Estes Child's Home, I think that's what it is. So, while they're split up, Shrek is taken to Ravencroft Institute to be conducting experiments on her. While Cletus Cassidy, he will become a serial killer, kill a bunch of people, because he wants to find Shrek, but he doesn't know where she is at. So we go to present day, Eddie Brock. He is assigned to the Cletus Cassidy story, because a big victory would get him back on top. So he meets Cletus a few times. Cletus sends him a bunch of letters and photographs. Eddie Brock, he cracks the case and he finds undiscovered bodies of Cletus Cassidy's victims. So they were confirmed to be Cletus Cassidy's victims. Cassidy was charged with their murders and he was sentenced to death. So before the execution date, Cletus Cassidy requests a special visitor, Eddie Brock. And Cassidy was telling Brock about, the meaning of life, secrets, how we live in darkness, some weird stuff like that, some metaphors he was talking about. His father, how he killed his grandma, how he killed his mother. Then he kind of got personal with Eddie. He kind of threw an insult at Eddie that Eddie caused his mother's death due to childbirth. And the Venom part of him was offended by it. So Venom attacked Cletus Cassidy. Cletus Cassidy bit Eddie Brock's arm, and he got a piece of the symbiote in him. So the jail guards come, they break up the scuffle, and Eddie Brock and Venom, they go home. They kind of argue about how they're going to tackle this case. Venom, he just wants to eat people while Brock wants to lay low. So they all decide to go their separate ways. So we arrive at the execution date of Cletus Cassidy. And before he is put to sleep, the Venom symbiote in Cassidy awakens, and Cassidy becomes Carnage. So I guess it's now the Carnage symbiote. Carnage, he's red, he's bigger, he's taller, he's scarier, he has more tentacles on him. So he ravages the entire prison, kills all the inmates. The other inmates are running scared, kills all the jail guards, kills the warden, and Cletus Cassidy is free. He's off to find Shrek at Ravencroft. He eventually frees her from Ravencroft, and they go to some type of cathedral where they want to get married. So Eddie Brock, he catches wind on this, So now he needs to go out and find Venom, take down Shriek, and Cletus Cassidy, Carnage. So that's basically the plot here. Then we have a post-credit scene on an island. Venom and Eddie, I guess they're resting there. They're on their honeymoon or something like that. I don't know. Then all of a sudden we see an earthquake comes. Then we see a news report. J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons, he's on the screen, and he's telling the world of Spider-Man's real identity is Peter Parker. So this is basically the same scene that we saw in Spider-Man Far From Home. They just put it in the Venom movie on a smaller TV screen to make it look like a news report. So this confirms one of these two things. Either Venom is now the MCU, or Tom Holland's Spider-Man is in Sony's Spider-Man universe. It's one of those two things. And Sony better be very careful about what they do here. I don't know what they're doing. Apparently Morbius is coming out. Apparently they're creating a Kraven the Hunter movie. They're probably going to do a Sinister Six film. I have no clue what they're doing. I don't. But what I like about this movie, I like Carnage. He's bigger, he's scarier. I like the action. The movie, it's more darker, it's scarier, it's more violent. So if you like the first one, you'll probably like this one. If you weren't so sure about the first one, you might not be so sure about this one. So again, this might not be the movie for everybody. I like Woody Harrelson as Carnage. Woody Harrelson, he kind of had this Heath Ledger Joker vibe about him. Got a lot of Batman Joker vibes in this movie. Tom Hardy Batman and Woody Harrelson as Carnage. The relationship between Eddie and Venom, I like it. They still want to do their own things. They still have difficulties, but they do tolerate each other. I like Dan Reed Scott in this movie. He's still pretty funny. Michelle Wilson's character is more comical than the first one, so there is a lot more comedy in this one. It's alright. The only things that I really didn't like about this movie, one is Shriek. Didn't really care much for her. Not familiar with the character, nor did she really do a whole lot in this movie. The only thing that was interesting though, that her superpower is sound. And Venom and Carnage, their both main weaknesses is sound. So that was another part that was interesting. Another part I didn't like was the gay overtones between Venom and Eddie Brock. I'm not a fan of forced gayness or forced straightness. I'm not a fan of forced relationships. Just stop. I don't want to see in Venom 3 Venom and Brock having a gay sexual relationship. It's not what I want to see. I don't know if we're going to get that, but it wouldn't shock me if that's what happened. But Let There Be Carnage, that was pretty good. I'll give it a 10 out of 10, and that's your quick little review of Venom, Let There Be Carnage.